you gonna be in love with me? I want you and need you to be, yeah.
Let's make us a sandwich. Oh, what's up? How y'all get in my refrigerator? But since y'all here, we gonna talk about SAP, the SAP program, and there's a lot of misunderstanding about the SAP program. How y'all get over here too? This video and tell you guys what I know about the SAP program. Y'all want a sandwich though? I'm about to make me a sandwich. Let's get it. As y'all can see, I was editing a video. That one just got done saving to the computer. So I'm about to make this sandwich and we go talk about what the SAP program is and how it works. Let's go. Alright, so let's talk about SAP. What is SAP? How do you get off SAP? What's the steps you need to do if you're a SAP driver, and some of the struggles that you're going to face as a SAP driver. So let's get straight into it. What is a SAP driver? A SAP driver, if you're looking at this video, you probably already know what a SAP driver is because you're probably a SAP driver, or you're just wondering, hey, what is a SAP driver? I've heard Truck and Sneakerhead talking a lot about SAP drivers, but I have no idea what a SAP driver is. A SAP driver is considered the abbreviation for Substance Abuse Program, where they put a driver that has failed a DOT drug test on a program, which is the SAP program for abbreviation. I myself am a SAP driver. I have completed the course, but just since you complete the course does not mean that you are no longer a SAP driver. A lot of people think, man, I'm going to do these 5 drug tests. After I get done with these 5 drug tests, I'm not going to be a SAP driver anymore. I can go to any company I want. And that is not the case at all, because there's a lot of things that play into this program as the SAP program. For example, what drug did you fail for? How many drug tests are you going to take? Good luck finding a company that's going to take you. How much experience do you have? Are you really willing to put all this money into getting your CDL to get back on the road? Are you really clean, or are you just trying to beat the system again? All these things are factors that's going to play into the SAP program. So for me, when I failed my drug test, it was a pre-employment drug test for Western Express. But I had already been out of the truck for a while when they finally gave me a call back. If you want to see that full video, there's a video on my channel. Make sure you go ahead and check it out, and I explain what happened to me with the SAP program. But today I'm going to be trying to help you guys, because a lot of people have reached out to me about the SAP and are trying to figure out information about the SAP. If you don't know, there is some new rules and stuff going into play with the government and the DOT and all that. Come November, if you are a SAP driver and you have not done your RTD, which is your return to duty, there's a chance that your license could be downgraded to a regular everyday license. That means you will not have a CDL anymore. But you're wondering, if my license get downgraded, what does that mean? In my own opinion, if your license get downgraded and you was already struggling to find a company to take you in, don't waste your money. In my own opinion, don't waste your money in getting a new CDL, because you're going to end up getting a new CDL and you're still going to be considered a SAP driver. So you just coughed up another $4,000 to $5,000, maybe $3,000 to get you a new license, and you're still going to be going through the same struggles, the same problems of people not wanting to hire you. But if you are a SAP driver, you have some type of experience, maybe 2, 3, 4 to 6 months of experience, and you're a SAP driver looking for a company, I have videos, 2 videos, and as of right now, I have 42 companies that will hire a SAP driver. So make sure you guys go ahead and check out those videos. I'll throw it right here. Go ahead and click on this card, and those videos will help you find a company that hires SAP drivers. Maybe they're for you, maybe they're not for you. I have not worked at all these companies. All I did was the legwork and call these companies and figured out if they have hired SAP drivers. But with the SAP, the way the SAP program works, sometimes a company will hire SAP drivers this month and the next month they won't. So there's always, it's a never-ending cycle. You just have to catch these companies at the right time. It's insurance reasons, the way the market goes. There's so many things that play into the SAP. So for me, let's talk about me for a second. I took over 13 drug tests within a year span. Trucker souls, you're only supposed to take 5. Yes, that's what a lot of people think, but it's not always 5. It's after you start a company, it's up to the company's discretion. The company can give you as many drug tests as they want, and they can call it, oh, you were randomly chosen for just the company random drug test. Oh, this company this drug test is for your SAP. Oh, the government chose you to do this one. There's so many reasons you could be given a drug test. And you as a SAP driver, they're going to give it to you because they're trying to catch you failing. So with that being said, if you have 4 to 6 months of experience, there's so many companies that's willing to hire you. But if you have no experience, let's say that you failed in school before you even got your CDL, a lot of people have hit me up asking me this. Hey man, I failed while I was in school before I even got my CDL. I have no experience. What do I do? So the only thing that I can tell you to do is a lot of these bigger companies are not going to hire you. I'm sure there is a company out there somewhere that is willing to hire you as a SAP driver with no experience. But you're going to have to do so much legwork to find that company. It's like you're going to want to give up every single day because you're going to hear no, 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 no. Click. Do you guys hire SAP drivers? They hung up on you. Ain't nobody on the phone anymore. You're going to have to want this harder than you ever wanted it before. But for me, when my SAP test, I had 2 months of experience. So with my 2 months of experience, I went onto Facebook, onto the trucking job group, and I tried to find jobs through that. But on these groups, a lot of these groups have so many scams in it. But luckily, you know, I did go to one owner op out of Texas. That was a horrible experience. I would never do that again in my life. And then luckily I did find an owner op that would take me. But the catch of it is that I would have to team drive. So what did I do? I team drove for 6 months to get me a little bit more experience under my belt. So then I could, you know, find a company that will hire me because now I have some sort of experience and I can go back solo and not have to do the team driving, because team driving does not work for everybody. Some people like team driving, some people don't, but you got to think you're in this small area, your truck's never stopping. 9 times out of 10 you're going to be put with somebody else that has no experience driving. So for me, it was more of I need to do this to get some experience so I can be in my own truck. But at the end of the day, you have to do what you have to do. So I'm talking to the new drivers here. If you have no experience and you're looking and you're really wanting to get back in this trucking industry and you're wanting to get this done before November, I would get on every Facebook group that I can get on, and I would try to reach out to these smaller companies, these owner-op companies. Worst come to worst, maybe you would have to go to a super ego-like company that you know they're going to screw you over. You know this company is going to screw you over, but you have to go there because you need to get some type of experience so you can leave that company. You got no experience. At least get 4 months in. Work for that company for 4 months. You know you're not going to stay at that company for 4 months. You know that company is screwing you over, but you're in it because you know you got a goal in mind that you're trying to achieve. So at 4 months, what would I do? After my 4 months is over, I would call up CFI, be like, hey, I'm a SAP driver. I got 4 months of experience. Can you hire me? But CFI, at 4 months of experience, they do hire SAP drivers. A lot of people have been saying, oh, the only reason you made this channel is because you're referring people to the whatever company you're at so you can get a referral bonus. If that was the case, I would have went to CFI, which is already a big name company. And yeah, I wouldn't have been making a lot of money, but I would have been making so much money from just my YouTube videos and referral bonuses because CFI is a big company. And a lot of new drivers know of CFI. So that's not the case at all. But if you're a new driver, that's what I honestly would do. Now let's talk about after you get done with your 5 random drug tests or however many drug tests, you're done with the step of drug tests. Oh, I'm no longer a SAP driver. Wrong. You're still a SAP driver. The next 5 years, that SAP is going to be on your record. So anytime you go to apply to a company and they ask you on that application, have you failed a drug test? Yes, I failed a drug test. And a lot of times those companies are not going to hire you. So you're still going to have to go to these companies that only hire SAP drivers for the next 5 years. Some companies will hire you after 3 years. Some companies will hire you after 5 years. Some companies will never touch you. But that's okay because at this point, a lot of companies are not going to hire you. So when you finally do get a company that's going to hire you, you're going to be more grateful that you found a company that's going to hire you. But I'm going to tell you, a lot of these companies that hire SAP drivers, they know what they have on their hands. You're the cream of the crop. SAP drivers are the cream of the crop because, this is why I say this, a SAP driver, as long as my SAP driver is clean and they're not failing their drug tests, we can take as long as we want to give them that drug test. So for at least 1 year, we know there's a great chance we have a driver that's going to stay in our seat for at least 1 year because they're trying to get off their SAP program. In return, with that being said, we know they're probably not going to go anywhere, so we can give them minimal money, minimal miles, treat them like a dog, and they're not going to go anywhere because they have this SAP being held over their head. So as a SAP driver, whenever you find a company, hopefully, and I pray that you do find a good company, but a lot of these companies out here that hire SAP drivers are not going to be the cream of the crop companies out here. They're not going to pay you good, and it's not going to be good all around. But you have to understand why you're at this company and you're doing what you need to do to try to get your random drug test off of you. After you get the random drug test off of you, there are going to be a couple more better companies that are willing to hire you. After you get to the drug test and everything done, you can finally leave that company. You can go to a better company that's going to hire you. So that's what I would do if I was a driver that failed SAP with no experience. I would either try to find a mom and pop company that's going to hire me, or I would go to like the super ego type companies and hopefully they could, you know, work with me and hire me. It's a lease purchase at Super Ego and all their sister companies, and they're popping up with new companies every single week. But you know what you're getting yourself into. It's not going to be a good situation, but you're only needing to stay there for about 4 to 6 months to get you some type of experience. And what else about SAP can we talk about today? As a SAP driver, it's going to be harder for you to find a job. A lot of jobs are not going to look up upon you. They're going to look down upon you. A lot of drivers are going to look down upon you. So if you're not comfortable telling people that you're a SAP driver, it's not this person's business. It's not this person's business. It's only your business of what's going on in your life. Like me, I take the blunt of the bullet for a lot of us SAP drivers. I put myself out there for not only you SAP drivers to find out about SAP and figure out information, but with me putting myself out on social media, talking about being a SAP driver, I get a lot of hate comments. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I love the hate comments because being a truck driver, being out here on this road, you know, it gets boring out here sometimes, and sometimes you just need somebody to argue back and forth with for a little bit of entertainment. So, as a SAP driver, that's a lot of the information that I can give you. If you guys have any questions, make sure you go ahead and hit me on Instagram, and I can respond back to you guys faster on Instagram than I can on YouTube, because I can get on Instagram while I take my 30-minute break and you know, respond to a DM. To YouTube, a lot of things get lost in the comment section. So if you have something important you want to talk about, make sure you DM me on Instagram at trucking_sneakerhead. Trucking_sneakerhead is my social media platform on all platforms. So make sure you guys go ahead, like, comment, subscribe on the video if this was useful to you. If you need anything, go ahead and message me on Instagram. Also, make sure you guys follow me on TikTok. We're going crazy over there. That's a good sandwich right there. That's a real good sandwich.